Welcome to the Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Network, where we are building faith and transforming lives, where our senior pastor is the Reverend James I. Perkins.
Well, good day, all of my viewers, and thank you so much for tuning in with us on our Straight Talk. This has been a good subject that we have had down through the months and the weeks, and it's a good topic, Straight Talk, because that's what we do with my guests. And I'm just so pleased to have with us as our guest this morning, Mr. Tom McRary. Tom is the CEO of West Caldwell Health Council. And Tom, that's generating a question for me, but we'll get to that just in a minute. And I just wanted to clear the air right now. We have both been labeled, and we are Baptists. And we've been told already this morning that Baptists are long-winded, and we've got a certain amount of time to do this, but we're going to ignore what they say about us as Baptists and what we do, and we're just gonna straight talk and say what needs to be said. Okay, now that we got all that clear, we've cleared the air now. So Tom, as I said, it's just so good to have you, and you and I met. I think we met via the telephone, and we had a great session on yesterday talking about West Caldwell Health Council and the clinic, and our main concern is the COVID. Our main concern is trying to get people vaccinated and trying to instill in people the need and the necessity of this. And this is what we basically gonna share this morning, and I'm just gonna turn this loose to Tom to talk about. But before we do that, I'd like to just ask one question. And I think you may have told me this yesterday. What's the difference between the clinic and West Caldwell Health Council?
Well, the West Caldwell Health Council actually was organized back in the late 70s.
Yeah.
At that time, the medical director, Dr. Marjorie Strom, and others were wanting to promote rural and community health. And some of the community organizations, such as the Ruatan clubs, got together, and of course in the Caldwell community, started working with the Office of Rural Health in Raleigh to try to promote getting healthcare services out in rural communities. Right. And in the Caldwell community. And that's where it began. And then in the early 80s, it moved over to the Happy Valley community and opened the Happy Valley Medical Center. And up until 2009, those two centers operated under the agency, if you will, of or with funding from the Office of Rural Health and Community Care here in North Carolina, and received funding in part to be able to take care of those individuals who were uninsured. Right. And qualified for receiving services for like a $5, $10, $15, or even a $20 copay.
Right. Yeah.
And in 2000, well, in the 2000 era, I think we all understand there comes changes, and we saw a significant change in the furniture manufacturing industry. There was an exodus, if I can borrow a biblical term, of furniture manufacturers, just as there have been textile and other things. And really, we just kind of capped out on the amount of financial assistance that we could get from the state level. And at that point in time, the executive directors for the Primary Care Association in North Carolina and the North Carolina Office of Rural Health came to us and said, we think you have an excellent opportunity to get federal designation as a community health center.
Right.
And they can assist more and help to do more to meet the needs of the residents of Caldwell County. And so we put our application in, and in 2009, we received our first federal award, financial award, to continue doing what we've been doing, but just on a grander scale. Of course, I would have to say that there were a lot of changes that happened then.
Right.
Of course, that was with the Obama administration, and they were wanting to promote community health centers across the nation,
Right.
again, increasing access to health care. And I learned a term we used coming in the door was I got schooled that if the federal government gives you $1, they want $10 worth of reporting back.
Yeah.
But with that, we have grown. We have been privileged. We've been blessed to be able to grow the organization, to try to do
Good.
more
Good.
in the service area, which is Caldwell, and of course the surrounding counties, to help people who are uninsured access health care services for both primary health care, mental and behavior. That's easy for him to say. Mental and behavioral health care, and with primary dental care. So that's kind of what we are. We have the Happy Valley and Caldwell Medical Center. We currently do have a site on the campus of CCC and TI.
Yeah.
And then we do have a mobile medical unit that we've used throughout the county to do special events, some school-based health, and then some health promotions.
Very good.
So, and of course, to the point that we had spoke to, with COVID, it has changed so much of what has happened this past year. We do now have the vaccines that are available, but the concern is, how do we get this out into the community? And so that's what led me to call you.
Yeah.
So how do we work toward making sure that everybody has opportunity for access to a vaccine?
Yeah. Tom, I think everything or everybody in every capacity need to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tool or we are told of a tool that we can use, but we got to use what we got.
We do.
And in saying that, the tool that you have, your capacity there at the Health Council, that name or that title, CEO, sounds good. When looking at it, it makes us feel important. But I'm sure that title came with some other under stuff under it. It's not something that they voted on or that you were appointed to. It came to a point where, gosh, Tom needs to be our CEO. But Tom, and I know from that you wear many hats. So could you just share with us, and I know that you talked about Caldwell and Happy Valley, but the many hats that you wear as CEO.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at things, we are an organization that is a size where we still have to wear many hats and do different things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've got to get health care delivered, and sometimes that means still reverting back to what I was prior to CEO, which is just an inflated title, by the way. It's taken the janitor and who ages into the position and say, well, if we just give him a bigger desk and a plate on the front of it that says something, we don't have to pay him anymore. But he'll still feel good. So
I know.
So that's kind of where we are. But yeah, I think my responsibilities are to go out into the community and look at where are the needs. We do collaborate with the health department in doing a needs assessment. And when I say the community, it's not just Happy Valley or Caldwell, it's what's going on in Caldwell County.
Right.
Where are there gaps in the delivery of health care? What's going on that has changed in health care?
Yeah.
Right now, there seems to be, appropriately so, a huge push toward mental and behavioral health services.
Yeah.
There are a lot of stresses out there. There's issues with employment. There's issues with insurance. There are families that are experiencing food insecurities. One of the things that I got involved in not too long ago, a little over a year ago, was a study on food insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And it was initiated, of course, by the Primary Care Association. And I decided to go ahead and participate, and we did a voluntary study at the Happy Valley Medical Center I was very surprised that out of the 75 respondents, over half of them, about 62% or 63%, identified some type of food insecurity.
Yeah.
And that's not just with that individual, that's within that family unit.
Right.
So that impacts a lot more individuals. And so going out and looking, how can we be more in the community? We collaborate with Yokefellow, with Sharon, and do food distributions at the Happy Valley Medical Center one day a month. And the individuals that come in, it gives me an opportunity to really find out what's going on with them.
Yeah.
I remember earlier on in doing that, we had a situation. It was January and it was cold. It really was. It was probably in the low 20s or maybe high teens. And yet I still had elderly people coming up to get food in just a little sweater. And I said, we can do better than that.
Yeah.
And so I've spoken with employees and with Sharon and saying, in the spring of the year, not this week, but maybe next week,
Right.
when it starts warming up and we put that coat up and we think about, well, I didn't really wear that much, or I'm not wearing it. I just need to give it away. Well, hold on to it and let's put it out next fall for individuals who can use it, who need it. So it's looking at different opportunities to take the blessings that we have had as the Health Council and go out and share those within the community.
Very good. You use the word opportunity, and I like that word opportunity for the simple fact as the COVID has affected so many lives, and it has been fatal to some, and to others it's been a change in their lives because of the sickness, and trying to adjust and trying to do some things that will keep us safe. And I'm sure that is one of the hats that you wear. And I know that there are a lot of people, particularly in the rural, and maybe not all in the rural, that are not getting the shots. And then there may be other folks that just don't want to get the shots. But I think your responsibility and my responsibility is to encourage these people that you need to get the shot. So I think what we have talked about doing is that we're not always going to set up a space somewhere where you can come, but we're going to set up a space where you are. And I think, Tom, if you will just talk to us a little bit about that, is what the Caldwell Health Council is doing to reach, and how we're trying to convince those that seemingly just I won't say unconvincible, but it's just a hard, it's just a hard nut to crack sometimes with people.
Well, when even today, this morning, there was a discussion about the vaccine, and I looked at the data that was made available to me. It appears that about 40,000 doses have come in thus far to Caldwell County. And if it's a 2-dose vial, that means that as of today, you're probably looking at about 20,000 people in Caldwell County have received either first or second dose of vaccine. That's not a significant portion of Caldwell County. So there's still a lot of people out there that need to be vaccinated, again, based on the data that's coming from the state. So, and I do know the hesitancy is widespread. From the southern part of the county to the northern part of the county, the east to west, and even the state and the nation, people are kind of divided about, well, do I get it or don't I? The tragedy for me, the biggest tragedy that I see from my perspective, is to have access to the vaccine and not getting it out there to the people while people are still dying from COVID. Now, I can't make anyone take the vaccine. I can explain the benefits from doing it just as you or anybody else can, and stress the need that for your own health and for the health of your family and your neighbors and everyone in the state and the nation, yes, we need to give serious thought about getting this vaccine. That's not going to go away tomorrow.
Right.
And but I can't make you take it.
Right.
I can only make access to it, or create access to it, and that's really what I feel like my responsibility is. I understand that there are barriers to getting the vaccine, transportation. Sometimes one of the things that we spoke to yesterday is in healthcare delivery. You know, we seem to approach it the same way we always have. We're open from 8 to 5, and we got the vaccine, and if you want it, you come here between 8 and 5 and get it.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit everybody.
Right.
Again, transportation's a barrier. People are employed. They can't take off work from between 8 and 5 to come and get the vaccine. We're not open on Saturdays and Sundays. So how do we do things differently? Well, from my perspective, I can come out on a Saturday. I'll go out on a Sunday. Where will it be most beneficial to be? Where will it be most people congregated that they're already there? I'm just taking the mountain to Muhammad.
Right. Yeah.
Since he's not going to come to the mountain,
right.
we'll take the mountain there.
Yeah.
And just, you know, again, create that opportunity.
Right. You know, there we go with another opportunity, Tom. In the beginning, it was a limited age. I mean, you had to be a certain age, or you had to be employed within a certain group there in order to get the shots. But now, I'm thankful that it has opened up that there is no age limit. Well, I think from 16,
16
up, you can get it. And maybe, Tom, you may can address this for me, without a parental guide or consent. Yeah. Is it like that? I mean, does a 16-year-old need the parental consent?
Well, as far as the vaccines go, I think the vaccines are approved for 18 and older.
Okay.
And I have to, I may be updated on that.
Right.
I might get schooled on that one too, but I think it's 18 and older. Okay. So we can do 18 and older, and we don't have to have parental consent for that.
Okay.
Under 16, yes, we do need a parent to consent to the vaccine.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's a challenge, or it should not be a challenge.
Right.
But what we would like to do, and you know, this is, I think, the emphasis that we're wanting to put out today is we're wanting to come up with some days to get out into the communities, to advertise that we're going to be here to give you the vaccine or make it available to you if you want it, encourage you to get the vaccine. Think of your health, think of your children's health, think of your parents' health.
Very good.
You know, think of your neighbor's health. Yeah. And let's see what we can do to it's probably not the best advertisement because we're not wearing them. Maybe we should be, but to get rid of these, because I know I'm sick of wearing them. Everybody's sick of wearing them. They're complaining about them. Get rid of these.
I think that a lot of us are wanting to get rid of them, but I think a lot of us are just concerned about our society, where we live, where we work, where we worship, or whatever we do, and the more people that we can encourage, I won't say influence, but encourage to take this shot, the better off it's going to be for all of us. I mean, we cannot get rid of this with everybody not complying with the authorities or the CDC or whatever has given us a guideline to go by. And I know that we should wear these, and the reason that we're not, well, we're trying to stay a social distance, but it's kind of a little hard to convey to you guys what we want to say with our mask on. So,
yes, it is.
So we are practicing social distances, and in our churches we are practicing. We have our pews separated. We are taking temperatures, and we are encouraging everybody while you are there to wear your mask. So there's a lot of things that we're doing, but we need your help as well, to those of you that refuse to take the shot. So I see that our time is running out. Tom, the old saying goes that time runs faster when you're having fun, when you're enjoying it.
Yes, sir.
But I just wanted to take these minutes that I have, or seconds, to say thank you. Thank you for what all the clinic or the council does for our county and our city. We've got a lot of organizations that have sort of pulled together to defeat this virus that has come over and attacked our people. But the only way we can do that is we need to work together, and we need to get the word out, and we need to be transparent. And I'm so glad that the people that I have entertained here has showed transparency. There's not a reason to hide anything because we're trying to conquer. And when we conceal it, then we're not conquering. So again, Tom, thank you so very much, and thank the council, the West Caldwell Health Council and the clinic and all those other clinics that are working overtime to help us to get through this.
Well, thank you for allowing me to come and participate today, and hopefully I'll have an opportunity to come back and that won't require a pandemic to get it to happen.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another exciting segment of Straight Talk, where we get straight to the questions and answers that you would like to ask some of the leading people in Caldwell County. We look forward to bringing you podcasts that make an impact in our communities. So tune in every Thursday at 7 o'clock, where we will bring you Straight Talk. We want to keep you informed on activities that are going on within our communities. Be blessed. We will see you next week.